The rain tapped softly against the glass of Isabella Cruz's apartment window. She was 32, a woman admired for her career and independence. Yet tonight, she felt the quiet ache of loneliness. The world saw her as complete, well-dressed, confident, unshaken, but when she turned off the lights, her thoughts whispered otherwise. She had spent years building stability, a respected career as a financial consultant, a modern home she bought with her own money, and the kind of freedom she once longed for in her 20s. But what she couldn't build, no matter how hard she tried, was love that stayed. Her last relationship ended with betrayal. The man she trusted had chosen another, and though she smiled to everyone else, the wound remained. Deep inside, Isabella carried something heavier than heartbreak, a secret that never left her. In a wooden box at the back of her closet were old letters, written by Daniel, her childhood best friend. They grew up together, inseparable, but when adulthood came, so did pride and distance. He pursued opportunities abroad while she stayed behind, carving her own path. They never said goodbye properly, yet she never stopped wondering, what if? That what if returned in flesh one evening. At a charity gala her firm supported, Isabella spotted him across the room. Daniel, taller, sharper, wealthier. His presence commanded attention, but when his eyes found hers, the room seemed to fall silent. For a moment, it was as if the years between them vanished. But before Isabella could breathe, she noticed the woman at his side, a glamorous figure clinging to his arm. The announcer confirmed what she feared. Daniel was engaged. The applause from the crowd blurred in Isabella's ears. She forced herself to clap, but her chest tightened. The man she once loved was here again, but he belonged to someone else. That night, she returned home and opened the wooden box. The letters stared back at her, filled with promises of friendship, dreams of the future, and hints of feelings he never dared to confess. She cried quietly, not only for him but for the years she lost waiting for something undefined. Still, life had a way of moving forward. At work, she found comfort in the company of Miguel, her colleague. He was warm and steady, the kind of man who listened without judgment. Though Isabella never considered him more than a friend, she couldn't deny the calm he brought into her restless days. Weeks passed, and yet Daniel seemed to appear everywhere at business events, in shared social circles, even once at the cafe near her office. Each encounter carried the same pull, the same unfinished story written in his eyes, and each time Isabella reminded herself that he was engaged. But fate had other plans. One late evening, after a conference, Isabella accidentally overheard a conversation. Daniel was speaking with a friend in hushed tones. His engagement was not born from love, but from family pressure and business alliances. The woman by his side was chosen for him, not by him. Isabella's heart pounded. She wanted to confront him, to demand why he let her believe otherwise. But before she could, Daniel approached her. His voice trembled with honesty. "Isabella, I need you to know the truth. I never stopped thinking about you. These years apart, none of them erased what I feel. This engagement, it isn't my choice. But seeing you again reminded me of who I truly want. It's always been you." Isabella felt her defenses crack. She wanted to be angry, to accuse him of leaving her behind, but his eyes carried the same sincerity she once knew. "Why now, Daniel? After all these years?" she asked. "Because," he whispered, "losing you once was the greatest mistake of my life. I won't make it again." Her tears fell, not from pain this time, but from the fragile hope blooming inside her. She had longed for these words, and now they were real. The weeks that followed were not easy. Daniel had to confront his family, risking the business alliances that depended on his engagement. Isabella, on her part, had to silence the doubts in her heart, the voice that warned her not to believe too quickly. But love, when fought for, has its own strength. Together, they stood against disapproval and whispers. And in the end, Daniel chose freedom over obligation. He broke off the engagement, not without consequence, but with peace in his heart. For the first time, Isabella no longer felt like she was living in a memory. Daniel was no longer the boy she lost. He was the man who came back for her, choosing her above everything else. Months later, on a quiet beach at sunset, Daniel took her hand. "Isabella, I don't want us to wonder what if anymore. I want a lifetime of certainty with you." With the waves crashing gently behind them, Isabella smiled through her tears. This time, there was no fear, no hesitation, only love, complete and undeniable. She had found her happy ending not in the fairy tales others promised her, but in the man who proved that love can return, stronger than before. As she leaned into his embrace, Isabella whispered, "The unfolding years, they're ours now."